Maybe I'll forgive him just this once.
Don't cheat on her again, okay?
Okay, yeah, no clue. Okay, so strange thing store with her boyfriend, lowest level of the city. What's this?
Given all the info we've gathered, the missing girl should have been around here with her boyfriend.
That's blood.
I say, are these bloodstains?
Yeah, and they look fresh.
I fear the missing girl may somehow figure into this yet.
Well, she was last seen with her boyfriend. Let's go find him. Maybe he knows something.
Oh, hello. At the town entrance, okay.
We're looking for your girlfriend. She's been missing for a few days now. You were the last one to see her before she vanished, right?
Oh, he doesn't know what I'm talking about, eh?
You're her boyfriend. Aren't you worried about her?
What business is it of yours, outsider?
Foul creature. We found bloodstains in the very area where the two of you are last seen. You can hide nothing from Grimoire Vice. Confess, O guilty one. Confess and unburden your soul. Confess, lest others who are not as forgiving as I discover your terrible secret.
It was an accident. She pushed me, I pushed her back.
Accident or not, a person died. Trying to cover that up is a serious crime.
In the sandspout well outside the city.
We appreciate the honesty. We're gonna check on the sandspout well. You stay here.
Oh, is that why they're clogged? Are they clogged because there's a body? On one of the sandspout wells.
This must be the sandspout well.
This is hardly the most pleasant task you've ever signed us up for.
I don't see a body.
How peculiar.
Why would he lie about the body and not the murdery bit? Well, I guess we should go tell the family.
So there was no body to be found.
I mean,
what's going on here?
Could it not be in the other sandspout?
The sands, or the walls.
Oh no.
Or perhaps the man was mistaken all along.
Would it not be in this one?
It appeared.
Like, I would not hide the body in the first sandspout near town. I go to like one of the far ones. She's back?
Listen, your daughter is. Wait, what?
色と添います。
But your boyfriend told us you were. スタートなんで言してるんだ。
どっち行ってると？
だって
だってどうして朝。
だとて。
I don't understand a single thing that's happening right now.
Could the man possibly have been deluding himself this entire time?
ああうちとく着てぎつさったとさらだそれくとちぞ着ていたおでく
Okay.
だとて。
She's like, whatever, I don't care.
くざぎで
The blood's still there. So I have a lot of money now. 55 grand.
アルテル
I have a gourd already. So she's not looking for a gourd. Or no, I do not have a gourd. I just have the seed. Are gourds striped? I don't think they're round. Yeah. Earthworm gem claw. Weaker than what I currently have. So on the way to the next quest location, I'm gonna plant the gourd seed. Let's see, anyone drop their hide? Just the meat. There's a hide. I believe that makes 2 hides. Yeah, I don't even think I watered any of the plants I put over here. gourd. Have there been letters here the whole time? Have I missed a couple letters? What does she need again? Melon. Oh yeah, I've planted melons. I believe this just tells me a clue for the chicken egg.
The chickens in this village like to lay their eggs in high...
Maybe we should check out the fountain by...
I found them by the library. That's this. Yeah, maybe there's sardines here. How about this strong fish? So in the shadows and in high places. Check near the fountain. Yeah, well, this is the fountain.
There's no better sight.
Oh, is that... No, that's not an egg. Like, fountain near the library. Like, it's that. It's this. I'm not aware of any other fountain.
Visiting Popul...
Okay, well let's go get the rat tails. Let's see. It's at the exact like opposite place the game wants me to go. You know, I'll progress the game here. Maybe there'll be rat tails on the way.
It sure is quiet here.
Such silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way. I'm certain of it.
You know, a little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
Such cheek.
Hello.
Beware. Beware. The words.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Vice's voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The mayor stared at Pig VG and Vice.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
Oh, okay.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream has spread across the forest of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor has determined the Death Dream has spread from person to person by spoken words. But before he can learn more, the disease took him as well. Vice stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes. I think you have.
In other words, we've caught the Death Dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Pig VG's suspicions, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
Book, why can you sleep?
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
I like how he can read, like, the description text. The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who John NieR had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
Right, their brains but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider. Too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing.
Hey, are we gonna fight the narrator?
Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to John NieR, like a contagion. Wait, said John NieR suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so, what of it? Well, the villagers told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with his renewed interest, pushing a startled Vice aside in the process. He must have said something right, asked the mayor. Something specific, some specific combination of words. What was it? It was about dreaming, or something that dreams, or... Oh, what the hell was it? A sheep, cried Vice suddenly, blurting out the last thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few minutes of thought, John NieR's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said, those who dream. That's what he said, I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at John NieR. That sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper floated to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the Death Dream, he said.
I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Vice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps you should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream. I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there's an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second, I didn't nod. I did nod? Look, if I can be of any help, said Pig VG, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Vice. The grimace looked from Pig VG to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. They're fighting with the narration. Grimmer Vice's face is always confident. Thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor. You told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seem surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realizing without dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said, you're right. I have no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice, and dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we should search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We're eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called out to the departing forms of Pig, VG, and Vice. We're all counting on you. As Pig slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck with a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? Pig's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find an exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion, unhindered by either terrain or physical effort. He spent most of his time urging Pig to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Vice muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Pig snapped. Okay, Vice, cry me for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Pig leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Pig slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Vice, what's going on? Pig could see Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then just as Pig's ears seemingly ready to tear from his head and go running to cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed a hand from his left ear and listened for the creatures of the woods. Zri, 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 zri. Shaka, 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 shaka. Woo-woo-woo-ma, Shik, 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 shik. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Pig began to detect patterns in the sounds. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking the question. One with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1, what it is lacking. 2, what it is ideal. 3, what it is dangerous. What is it? Secret, a seesaw. How should I know? Secret? Inwardly furious that Vice lifted the task at him, Pig sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insect stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before a pig like rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Pig moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheek to his mind. As long as they're on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Pig after a bit. Vice spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Pig picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I entered through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, said Vice. Now answer it. Pig gritted his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right after all. This one is pretty easy. I entered through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Vice softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried Pig, awakening Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a small cottage nestled amongst the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Pig walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Pig. Before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and at the end of the night with 3. What am I? Oh, I know this one. Pig tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing here, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Vice, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said Pig. Well, at least it's an easy one. 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, at the end of the night with 3. What am I? A man. The mist dissolved in a cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Pig. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry? What's that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Death Dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on the seal and slammed the door behind him. As Pig watched, mist seeped up from the ground. What did that say? The call erasing it from existence. Okay. It was still on the screen, on my other screen. When Pig and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to a seat and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he cried. You made it. You actually made it back. His hand grasped Pig's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. Gah! By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy that you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Pig withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the Death Dream seal, he said. At least I think we did. Oh, we're still on this, like, text adventure mode, so no, we haven't. The mayor's face beamed as Pig filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the three of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Pig cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless proud and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Pig and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? Continued Vice. It is words that control the Death Dream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mirror. First time I had felt tired, since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. Nah, I don't even think it's budget. I think they're just cooking here. They're cooking something wild here. Early on, Vice, and even towards the end of the beginning of this section, John NieR was like, "Hey, what? I didn't say that." So like, I believe the solution is they're meant to fight. I mean, they're meant to like fight the narration. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. And they definitely make the most of the change in presentation and self-awareness. Oh! We're back! Shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You have no idea how much this means. The Death Dream was spreading through our village, and I wanted to, well... I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess it wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand and collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Pig and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor, as a wry smile crossed his lips. You should relearn in short order, I'm sure, said Vice. From now you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. No, I can't. Tragic case of EP. The EP disease. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Death Dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained. When the prayers were finished, it's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. A sealed verse, you say? Could not contain their surprise. It seemed that gold had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them say their goodbyes, Pig mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle as the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. And in the words, what in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Pig tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the Death Dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Pig gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Dark Execution.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
Now, there's something more going on here. It isn't over.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
Oh, I can enter his dream?
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in the long, unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside, I hear the sound of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, and eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say, "My savior." I claw at the door of my jail, embedded with thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of gods, help me. Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to the blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands, covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is Pig Video Games. How long have we been searching for you? Now come stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Pig extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though his eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we don't make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like an endless entrails of a giant. I squint down dim corridors and proceed north. Oh. And at the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop the carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of a wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face the mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from into the beds and back again until the horror draws full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they're alive or dead, I do not know. The sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door, leaving the most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors. Oh my god. Proceed east. Proceed north again. East? In a great hall with only sounds of rain for comfort, the waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rest china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head. But as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggly insects have made homes in the remains, and this is the movement I saw. This one splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs, upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up to the back and down to the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. For if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime, for which this was punishment. Though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. Let's keep going north. I guess I'll hope we made it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, so I get myself to the effort. In tandem with Pig and Grimoire Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. And the third try gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat, the clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry that tears of joy rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters. I sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress? Asked Weiss. Then you are a woman, madam. I am. I proffered it to with a smile. I suppose it comes as something of a surprise, seeing as how I only exist in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Pig is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. I want to know what the dress looks like. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls aside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to the new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
So,
Thank you so much for saving me.
okay.
I never want to have a dream like that again.
Yeah, this is a really neat concept, and the execution I feel is really well done.